I want to talk about it with the video I uploaded a few minutes ago was American Airlines Flight 345, and it's been around there for like 2.5 minutes already. And what actually happened was that so the plane was flying, and like the plane had a scheduled flight from Brookfield, Colorado to Avery, South Dakota, but hijackers pushed them off track and going to Iowa will waste much of their fuel, and they did, and the plane they were flying was a MD-11, and then someone read a book, and it like the three hijackers read a book, and so they read a book, and they noticed that MD-11s can fly up to 15 hours. And so then they went up to the cockpit and smashed the door open. So then the captain of the flight was an experienced captain that had more than 1 million hours to his flight experience. Well, the first officer, though, started his job 1 day ago. So he has 24 hours of experience, and for the plane not doing so well, they literally almost crashed. Because remember how I uploaded that video when a light storm hit Iowa? A light storm, and then Mason City split from North Mason City and South Mason City. Not good at all. The north was the main city, and the south was just the forest. Don't know why. So, but that is, yeah. So let's get back to the video. So like the plane was flying them, but then the hijackers just came up and they kicked the unexperienced first officer out of the plane, and the hijacker went back in. And remember, this is fictional. And so then the hijacker, I believe, messing with the controls, moving the rudder hardly, breaking it, and then they had to make an emergency landing without multiple of their controls. Like, now they couldn't speak to the radio or the air traffic controller. They didn't have a second radio. So yeah, it was safe. But it can't control the air traffic control now. They can only speak to the passengers. And the plane went missing off the radar So then the air traffic control was confused, and like American Airlines Flight 345 literally did it literally. They had to steer right because the rudder was making them go left. So they tried to do their best, but and it went off course from Broomfield. It already went off course from Broomfield, Colorado to Avery, South Dakota, and was now headed to Maine. If they make it to Iowa, they would have to make an emergency landing at Sioux City, but they declined and said they have to land in Des Moines, which is and they almost ran out of fuel as engine 1, the very far left engine, and stopped working, and engine 4 stopped working. Engine 3 stopped. Engine 1 stopped working. Engine 3 was kind of in the middle of some issues with turning back on, and engine 2 is leaking so much oil that engine 2 fell off explosively. But the plane didn't go down into the airport like American Airlines Flight 191 or Roblox Airlines Flight 845. They just somehow managed to get stable in the air and managed and they were running low on fuel from 100% to 30%. And they didn't know what to do, but they just knew the one exact thing. Try. There was only 2 options: hope or try to land the plane in Sioux City without the people noticing. But they already went past Sioux City, so that would have been declined. And they skipped Des Moines too. And then they ran out of fuel. The only option left was to land in the middle of Lake Red Rock, not crashing into the dam, but one of the rivers that leads to Lake Red Rock. But they declined that and said they will have to go all the way to the edge of North Carolina and make an emergency landing there. And they were so confused about that because they almost ran out of fuel from 30% to 10%. And the hijackers want them to make an emergency landing at the edge of North Carolina, like in the Atlantic Ocean by North Carolina. But they had to. But once they reached past Kentucky, what? They ran out of fuel. Sorry about that jam thing. My mom came in. So when they went past Kentucky, they ran out of fuel. So they would have to glide to North Carolina. But airplanes can only glide from 10 miles away, and North Carolina was 12 miles away. so they wouldn't make it. So they aligned with North Carolina's International Airport at Raleigh, but the hijackers refused, because if they would go any lower, the hijacker would kick the pilot that almost had flied 1 million hours of his lifetime. But then something was off. So the flight was in the middle of nowhere, because they skipped Raleigh, and now they had to make a landing in the Atlantic Ocean. So they banked left, and one of my subscribers found a footage of it, like they were playing Roblox. It's a Roblox crash. Yeah, so they saw the plane like right here. So, yep, that's right. Like the plane banked right. Like the right wing wasn't able to stay stable because engine 2 fell off, and they literally, they didn't make a cartwheel like Ethiopian Airlines Flight 961. Instead, the right wing snapped, and they crashed sideways, going, then straightening itself, going upwards, and crashed right at the shore of the beach. Already there was, since that right wing snapped, there was water up to waist height, and people were scrambling out of the plane with the dry sand becoming wet sand. And that's all we need to explain. You could find out more in part 2, or if you want to see it early, because we'll do that before like the trailer. So bye for now.